Have you ever looked at the chaos in the world and thought, what can one person really do? Have you ever asked yourself, is it even possible to bring peace to a society so consumed by conflict, greed, and division? If you've had these thoughts, you're not alone. But what if I told you that the key to transforming the world is not through revolution, power, or politics, but through the quiet, persistent practice of inner virtue? Welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad you're here, because today's episode might completely change the way you see your place in the world. We're diving into the timeless wisdom of the great Buddhist master, Venerable Master Yin Guang, and exploring his radical yet simple proposition. If one person lives virtuous life, the world begins to change. If everyone does, the world finds peace. This isn't philosophy, it's not idealism, it's practical, and by the end of this video, you'll see how even your smallest choices ripple outward into society like a stone dropped in still water. Let's begin by turning our attention inward. Forget politics, forget news headlines, forget even your boss or your family drama. Instead, ask yourself this: is my heart at peace? Do my daily thoughts and actions contribute to harmony or division? Because according to Master Yin Guang, peace is not built in government, it's built in the mind. And from the mind, it shapes words, actions, homes, workplaces, and entire nations. In one of his most powerful teachings, he said, if one person cultivates virtue, it benefits all. If every person does so, the world will be at peace. How? Let's take a journey through ancient insight, real-life stories, and transformative practices that reveal just how much power lies within a single human heart. To fully appreciate the depth of Master Yin Guang's statement, if one person cultivates virtue, it benefits all. If everyone does so, the world will be at peace. We must first understand what it means to cultivate virtues. Doesn't mean grand gestures, doesn't mean becoming famous for charity or broadcasting your good deeds on social media. Means returning to the fundamentals of human decency in a world that often forgets them. Means being honest when you could lie, being kind when you could ignore, being calm when you could lash out. Master Yin Guang emphasized that the power of goodness begins invisibly. It is rooted in thought, intention, and the silent choices we make moment by moment. Let me share a powerful example that brings this teaching to life. There was a middle-aged woman named Li Wan who lived in a noisy, polluted industrial city in eastern China. She worked in a textile factory, raised 2 children, and cared for her aging parents. Her life was hard, stressful, and exhausting. For years, he lived in a haze of frustration and fatigue, barely able to manage the chaos around her. Then one winter, he stumbled upon a faded book of Buddhist teachings at a second-hand stall. It contained the writings of Master Yin Guang. Something stirred inside her. He read through the night. He cried. For the first time, he realized that even though he couldn't change her circumstances, he could change herself. From that day on, he began the quiet, radical transformation. He woke up 30 minutes earlier each morning to recite the name of Amitabha Buddha. He began treating her coworkers with more patience. When her children argued, he responded with gentleness instead of yelling. He stopped complaining about her life. Instead, he practiced gratitude for even the smallest things: the warm bowl of rice, a smile from a stranger, the ability to breathe deeply. 6 months later, something incredible happened. Her husband, who had been cold and distant, began staying home more often. He started cooking dinner for children. One's rebellious became more affectionate and respectful. Her workplace, one's tense, began to feel more harmonious. Even her aging parents, who often quarreled, seemed to soften. What had changed? Not the world, but her. And because she changed, everything round her began to shift. This is the heart of what Master Yingguan taught. One person's inner transformation creates an atmosphere, the field of peace that influences everyone they meet. He wrote, "A truly virtuous person needs not instruct others. Their conduct itself becomes the greatest teaching." Imagine for a moment if even 10 people in your city chose to live this way. In 100, in 1,000, the energy would change, the culture would change, the world would inevitably begin to heal. But let's go deeper. Why does this work? Because virtue is magnetic. It attracts what is good, repels what is harmful, and inspires what is dormant in others. When you practice restraint instead of revenge, compassion instead of cruelty, generosity instead of greed, you are not just being nice, you are breaking the cycle. You are stopping the wheel of karma in your corner of the world. Let's talk about karma for a moment, not as superstition, but as a law of cause and effect. Every action has a consequence. When you speak with anger, the energy of that anger lives on, not just in the one you spoke to, but in yourself. It shapes your body language, your relationships, your health, your future decisions. But the same is true for love. Single act of kindness can echo through generations. Mother's patient teaching becomes a child's moral compass. Stranger's smile becomes the one bright moment in someone's bleak day. This is why Master Yingguan insisted that virtue is not passive. It is the most active and powerful force in the universe, and it is not limited to monks or saints. Every human being can practice it. Let me tell you another story, this time about a teacher named Mr. Wu. Mr. Wu taught at a public school in a rough neighborhood. His students came from broken homes, and he had experienced trauma, neglect, and poverty. They were angry, distrustful, and destructive. But Mr. Wu didn't respond with punishment. He responded with stillness. Each morning before class, he would sit at his desk and silently recite the Buddha's name. He never spoke of it. He never forced his students to meditate, but he carried a presence, calm, grounded kind, that slowly began to affect the entire classroom. When students yelled, he listened. When they made mistakes, he corrected them gently. When they disrespected him, he met them with patience. One by one, the students began to change. Not all at once, but gradually, the room grew quieter. Trust developed. Some began to ask questions. Others began to smile more. One even asked if he could meditate too. After 5 years, Mr. Wu's class became known as the safest room in the school. Students who once fought were now helping each other with homework. Teachers asked what his secret was. He simply said, "I try to bring virtue with me wherever I go. That's all." This is what it means to change the world from within. And this brings us to an even more powerful truth that Master Yingguan revealed. Do not underestimate the effect of your virtue just because it is unseen. The deepest roots grow in silence. In a society obsessed with visibility and recognition, this teaching is revolutionary. You don't need to be famous to make a difference. You don't need millions of followers. You don't need a platform. What you need is presence, integrity, steadfastness in goodness, even when no one is watching. Because the world is watching, not with cameras, but with hearts. Every person you meet senses your energy. They may not know your name, but they will remember how they felt in your presence. So how can you begin? Start small. Instead of complaining, express gratitude. Instead of judging, seek to understand. Instead of reacting, pause and reflect. Instead of gossiping, remain silent. Instead of hating, wish happiness for others. These small acts are not small at all. They are seismic. They ripple through space and time in ways we cannot measure. Remember, you are not alone. Right now, as you listen to these words, thousands of people around the world are waking up. They are choosing mindfulness over madness, compassion over cruelty, peace over profit. They are doing the quiet work of healing themselves and, by extension, healing the world. You can join them. In fact, by choosing to watch this video, you already have. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the big picture. The world doesn't change through force, it changes through frequency. And the highest frequency is that of a heart aligned with truth. Master Yin Guan often said, "The greatest contribution one can make to the world is a heart free of hatred, filled with kindness." He didn't mean this as poetry, he meant it as fact. So the next time you wonder if your little acts of goodness matter, remember Li Wan, remember Mr. Wu, remember yourself, sitting here, listening, choosing to grow. You are the beginning of peace. You are the seat of change. You are the answer you've been waiting for. Thank you for watching this video. I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. How has one act of kindness changed your life? What virtues are you working to cultivate? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this message with someone who needs hope. Until next time, stay grounded, stay gentle, and remember, one heart awakened in virtue can light up the world.
Before you leave, here's something special. In Buddhism, we believe that every encounter carries a deeper meaning. Would you like to discover your true soul connection, the one written into your destiny? Take the Soulmate Test today and unveil the hidden truths of your journey. Click the link below and begin your path now.
http://soulmate. You wisdom more, come, white.